I have in front of me a 4K four-way HDMI splitter. This is a HDMI 2.0 and what's sometimes described as true 4K or true ultra high definition. So the cost price on this unit is considerably more expensive than the other 4K splitters we have or that you may see in the market. We brought in relatively limited quantities of these. It's available, by the way, with free delivery, simply because this is a really high-end product, okay? And it's just that it can support higher resolutions and it has extra functionality within it in terms of you're covering every single possibility by going for a unit like this. So for very high-end commercial jobs, things like this, people would come along and use a unit like this. So if we look at, let's say, how we set this up, we just have a set-top box over here and we feed it in here via HDMI lead into our splitter, and we're feeding it, in this case, 2 TVs, but we could feed up to 4 HD TVs directly off it, okay? Now what's prompted us to add on our 4K range is that in the summer of 2016, Sky for the first time started to broadcast transmissions in 4K. We know that this is the start of really a mass appeal in the market for it. So it'll be niche initially, but 4K will eventually become the standard within the market. So we'll see the overall packaging box that we have here. If we come along and see what we have inside, well, these units have been designed specifically for the Irish and UK market. So it comes with a 3-pin plug and it's a 5-volt 3-amp output on it. You see the little mounts here, so it actually allows us to mount this onto a stand racking type situation. And then what we have here is a user manual. So it's just giving the general setup on it. There's a few specific things in it that I'm going to talk about in a few moments time. What we'll do here is we'll just look at back of the unit effectively, which is where we plug our power units in. When we have our power unit plugged in, the little LED red light will come on there. And what we have there is we have an input in the center and then we've up to 4 outputs here. So what happens is that when it connects and it detects a signal, only then does the green light come on. And then once you plug an output into it, once it detects the signal, again, the green light will come on. If we come along and look at the back of the unit here, we'll see that there's a few unusual things here. So the first thing is there's an on-off switch on it here, but there is an IR pass-through here. So what we could do is we could actually have an IR sensor here where it'll actually feed a signal directly from the unit we're controlling from the remote thing, and we can use this something similar to a blaster or an eye to actually be able to send the signal back and control it from the remote location. We also have a dip switch set up here, and this is if we need to come along and modify this specifically for, we'll say, particular frequency rates or hertz rates, all the rest of it. And there's an actual table found inside the booklet here that will indicate how and why you'd set it up at certain dip switch things. But I would say the vast majority of people here who would buy this would just use the default settings on it. And there's also an RS-232 here, and this is just for programmability to connect the PC directly into it as well. So this, the overall weight of this unit is extremely heavy. If it's compared against the other 4K 4-way splitter we have, is roughly twice the weight, and it's a very heavy metal housing on it, okay? So we've tested this against some 4K thing here. So if we're looking at 4K and we're looking at the resolution things here, you would think we'd say that the absolute top would be sport itself, but some of the actual movies are shot in a slightly higher resolution thing again. So it can cover both of those scenarios in terms of the ultra high sport and also really high definition movies as well. So it sort of sits well with somebody who wants to invest a lot of money in terms of their HDMI leads and their TV setup and their content, things like that, and they just want to make sure that the splitter is able to support it. So we've added it on specifically into the range for that. It's part of a much wider range of 4K splitters, leads, matrices, HDMI leads, etc., that are all found and available on the freetv.ie website.